Picture two people standing side by side, both exactly 60 years old, both born the same year, same city, same starting line in life. One of them moves like they're 40. Sharp eyes, steady hands, a memory that doesn't fumble mid-sentence. The other one looks every bit of 60. Tired eyes, stiff joints, forgetting names they should know by heart. Same age. Completely different bodies. And the terrifying truth is the gap between them wasn't decided by luck or genetics the way you've been told your whole life. It was decided by what sat on their plate, meal after meal, for decades. Today I'm going to show you exactly which foods quietly pull you toward the tired version of 60 and which ones pull you toward the version that still feels 40, so stick around. Because the food I reveal at the end might be the one already sitting in your kitchen right now wasting away. Let's start with the uncomfortable part, because I think you deserve honesty instead of sugarcoating. Right now, inside your body, whether you feel it or not, there's a slow motion process happening every single day, and scientists have a name for it, but I want you to picture it differently. Imagine a car engine that still starts every morning, still gets you where you need to go, but underneath the hood, rust is quietly building on the parts you can't see. That rust doesn't announce itself. It doesn't hurt. It doesn't show up on the outside. Until one day the engine stalls, and it stalls with names attached to it. Heart disease, diabetes, memory that slips away faster than it should. And here's what almost nobody says clearly enough. That rust is not simply the price of getting older. In large part, it's the direct result of decades of small choices at the dinner table, choices most people never even thought twice about. Now here's where it gets genuinely interesting, and I promise this changes the way you look at food forever. Your body has a defense system running quietly in the background every single day, one most people have never even heard of, constantly deciding whether to protect you or slowly work against you, and that decision comes down almost entirely to what you feed it. Some foods calm that system down, keep your blood vessels flexible, protect your brain, keep disease from ever gaining a foothold. Other foods do the exact opposite, feeding the very processes that age you faster. And the wild part, none of this requires some rare ingredient flown in from across the world. It requires things sitting in your kitchen right now, things you've probably walked past 100 times without knowing what they were actually capable of. Let's talk about the foods that work for you first, because this is where things get exciting. Start with olive oil, and I don't mean the cheap, watered-down kind sitting on most supermarket shelves. Real, high-quality olive oil is loaded with compounds that calm inflammation and protect the lining of your blood vessels from the inside out. Then there's something as simple as an apple, the kind of food so ordinary people forget it's doing anything at all. But the fiber and compounds inside it support your gut and your heart in ways most people never connect back to their daily energy levels. Broccoli and kale, foods that get eye rolls at the dinner table, are actually working behind the scenes to help your body detoxify and repair itself at a cellular level. But here's where it gets more surprising. Tomatoes contain a compound that's been linked to protecting your skin and your heart simultaneously, which means that pasta sauce you love might actually be doing more for you than you ever gave it credit for. Kiwis and pomegranates bring a concentration of antioxidants that work like a cleanup crew, sweeping through your bloodstream and clearing out damage before it accumulates into something serious. And matcha, that vivid green tea people drink to look trendy on camera, is doing something far less trendy and far more important, interfering with the way unhealthy cells try to multiply, almost like a quiet security system running in the background of your body 24 hours a day. Edamame in a simple can of beans, foods most people consider boring, might be some of the most underrated tools for feeling young at 60, 70, even 80. They stabilize your blood sugar, they feed the good bacteria in your gut, and stable blood sugar over decades is one of the biggest predictors of whether you age gracefully or age hard. And yes, dark chocolate makes the list too, but only the real kind, above 70% cocoa, because it contains compounds that help new healthy blood vessels form while discouraging the kind that feed disease. After years of being told chocolate is something to fear, that might be hard to accept, but the truth is always more layered than the simple story we were all raised on. Even your morning coffee, the one thing you probably feel guilty about, has been linked to protecting your liver and your brain over the long run, when it isn't drowned in sugar and syrup. Now I need to pause here because what I'm about to say next might sting a little, and I'd rather be honest with you than comfortable. While you're building yourself up with these foods, there's an entire category quietly working against everything you're trying to build. Soda, and this is going to surprise some of you, diet soda might actually be worse, tricking your body's chemistry in ways that regular sugar doesn't. Packaged health foods, the ones with green labels and words like natural splashed across the front, are often hiding ingredient lists a mile long, and if you can't pronounce what's inside, your body usually can't process it properly either. Processed meats, the deli slices, the pastrami, the synthetic preservatives, keeping them looking fresh on a shelf for weeks, have been linked to some of the most serious health risks we know of. And most people eat them without a second thought because they've always been there in every fridge, every lunch, every generation. And then there's something people rarely think about at all, the bottled water sitting on your counter right now, sitting in plastic, that slowly breaks down and leaches into what you're drinking every single day. It's not dramatic, it's not obvious, but it's happening quietly in the background of your life, the same way everything else on this list works quietly in the background, either building you up or breaking you down, one choice at a time. Here's the part I really want you to sit with for a second. Aging was never supposed to mean decline. It was never supposed to mean losing your memory, losing your energy, losing the version of yourself that used to move through the world without thinking twice about it. Somewhere along the way, we all just accepted that as the price of getting older, as if it was written in stone from the day we were born. But when you actually look at people who reach 60, 70, 80 and still feel like themselves, still sharp, still capable, still full of life, you start to realize decline was never mandatory. It was often just the accumulation of decades of choices nobody ever properly explained to them, the same choices you now have laid out in front of you. And there's more worth reaching for that most people overlook completely. Lentils, quietly doing for your gut and your blood sugar what most expensive supplements promise and fail to deliver. Dry fruits and apricots, small enough to ignore, powerful enough to matter when eaten consistently over years. Blueberries, protecting the tiny power plants inside every one of your cells that keep your energy from crashing by mid-afternoon. Tuna, bringing in the kind of fats your brain quietly depends on to stay sharp. Even something as simple as pickles, feeding the bacteria in your gut that influence everything from your mood to your immune system in ways science is only just beginning to fully understand. None of this requires perfection. Nobody is asking you to throw out your fridge tonight or become someone you're not. It simply requires awareness. Because once you understand what's actually happening inside your body every time you eat, you can't unknow it. And that awareness is the first real step toward becoming the version of yourself that still feels 40, 60, 70 years from now. So here's my question for you, and I genuinely want to know the answer. Out of everything on this list, which food surprised you the most? And which one are you actually going to add to your plate starting today? Drop it in the comments below because someone else scrolling through this right now might need that exact push to finally make the change.